I honestly believe that some of you brothers lack. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I think some of you brothers lack the intelligence to understand what's really going on. You know, I'm having people in my comment section say things like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know football. Carson Winston have this, and this." Um, how are you ever going to get this, and this? That the shit that you're talking about? You saying we need to get him an O-line. We need to get him some weapons. We need to get him this. We need to get him that. How are you going to get him that when he's getting paid $100 million? He's taking a huge chunk of the salary cap. All these things that you're complaining about, defense, O-line, weapons, how are you going to improve them when he's taking a large chunk of the fucking cap? See, it seems as though, like, and I've pinned this on my last video. This goes to any overpaid quarterback. Not just Carson Wentz, not just Dak, or any other, like even any overpaid quarterback in this league. They're not always going to be the reason why the team loses. But they need to be the reason why the team wins. Let me say this again. The overpaid quarterbacks are not always going to be the reason why the team loses. But they always need to be the reason why the team wins. All these butthurt Carson Wentz fans and Dak Prescott fans rating the comment section, always talking about, always putting the blame on something else. No defense, no O-line, no weapons. Well, you can't say that about Dak. Dak has plenty of weapons, but he's out for the season. So I'm not focused on Dak anymore. Carson Wentz. How are you ever going to get him an O-line? Get him all this? And why does he need all this shit to be successful anyway? He's the one who took the $100 million. When you take a deal like that, you know, top 5, top 10 deal in the league, you were supposed to overcome a lot of those deficiencies. How come he's not doing that? The overpaid quarterback is a problem in this league. And this just goes to an even bigger issue. We need to curtail QB salaries. We need to reel those in, because they are affecting the league they having a negative impact on the league. It really is. Max Kellerman says it best. Overpaid quarterbacks are the problem. They are. Matt Ryan is a problem. Kirk Cousins is a problem. Overpaid quarterbacks. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. I've just mentioned Kirk Cousins. Matt Ryan. Just keep going down the list. They are problems. When you look at Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, he took a modest deal. You can pay Derrick Henry now. You can shore up that offensive line to protect you and Derrick Henry. You can shore up that defensive front. You can win with a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill. You know why? Because he doesn't turn the ball over. He's smart enough to manage the game, and you don't pay him a shit ton of money, and you can invest in other pieces. You want to know why I'm rooting so hard for Andy Dalton? Because I believe Andy Dalton is good enough to get this team over the hump, especially if he takes a team-friendly deal and we can invest in other places. I'm going to be honest with you. If Dak came back and said, you know what? Fuck it. Pay me $29, $30 million a year. If he took something like that, I would be ecstatic. I would love to have Dak back. If he came down on his price, I would love to have him back. You want to know why? Because we can keep those weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and we can invest in defense. And we can invest in our O-line as well. if he takes a smaller deal. Overpaid quarterbacks are the problem. And every time you mention, get him this, get him that, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, how are you ever going to get that? You can't get help if you can't afford it. People are not, they're not getting it. They're not grasping it. And I'm trying to beat this in y'all's head, but I don't think y'all will ever get it. I think a lot of y'all are just lost causes. You don't have the intellect to understand it. I'm going to just give up. Patrick Mahomes can have a blank check. You want to know why? Because he's proven time in and time out that he can carry a shit defense. He took one of the worst defenses in the league to the AFC Championship game the year before he won the Super Bowl. Then he takes an average defense, because last year they were a little bit better on defense. They added Tyrann Mathieu, but they were still average. And he won the Super Bowl with them. And Emmanuel Acho, I have a video with Emmanuel Acho breaking down quarterbacks who win Super Bowls are usually on their rookie deal or they take pay cuts. Tom Brady was smart enough to understand, you know what? I'm getting older. I'm not as good as I once was. I need help. I'm going to take a pay cut. Even with the Buccaneers, 2-year, $50 million deal. He's only taking $25 million a year in Tampa Bay. That's all he's taking. If Tom Brady, the GOAT, can do that, how come Dak Prescott can't do that? How come Carson Wentz can't do that? How come Jared Goff can't do that? They're nowhere near his level. Not even close. Tom Brady, the all-time GOAT, understands his weaknesses, understands his limitations, and only takes $25 million so they can add more talent around him. They destroyed Green Bay today. If Tom Brady got greedy and was like, I want 34, 35 mil, you know, the defense that put up, that just shut down Aaron Rodgers today, a lot of those defensive weapons wouldn't be there if Tom Brady took a lot of money. Just saying. Just saying. So whenever you fools come to me and saying Carson Wentz doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, he doesn't have that, they're all out with injury and stuff like that. Injury is, you can't do anything about that. But after this season, when you want to shore up the offensive line and the defense and give Carson Wentz some more weapons, how are you going to do that? Are you going to ask Carson Wentz to take a pay cut? What are you going to do? It's the overpaid quarterback is the problem. And it's not just the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. It's league-wide. And it's having a negative impact on the game.